Bayonetta is famous for shooting guns with her feet and other stuff. As a first-time player, I'm gonna find out if this game is actually peak or just common gooner bait. The game opens 500 years in the past as two women fight a dragon angel while a man yells backstory at them for 3 minutes. Yes, this game was made in Japan. There are 3 difficulty options to choose from, and the fact that 2 of them have easy in the name is terrifying. I went with normal because I'm stupid. We're now at a graveyard in the present where a swagged out mafioso named Enzo watches the gates of heaven open in front of him.
What the fuck?
Angels descend from the heavens, and Bayonetta speeds up their descent rapidly. Also, a visibly bald man pops out of a coffin and starts throwing guns at her. This might be the greatest video game of all time. The enemies in this cutscene are called affinities, and they're the most basic form of angel. Bayonetta has 3 main ways of attacking her enemies: punching them with the Y button, kicking them with the B button, and popping 400 caps per second into their dome piece. And like every action game, there are a number of combos that you can perform with different effects to either knock an enemy off their feet or send them 10 feet straight up to get in some mid-air combos, or activate a punish move and humiliate them in front of their boys.
What the fuck?
Of course, you can also dodge incoming attacks with the right trigger, and if it's timed right, you get a few seconds of slowed down time to go gorilla mode. We've now successfully crashed a funeral, but it's okay because the only thing that died was Rodan's hairline. Bayonetta holds a jewel called the left eye of the world, which she hopes to reunite with the right eye of the world. Enzo is escorting her to a city called Vigrid when he's ambushed by an entire goddamn plane.
What the fuck?
Bayonetta does some witch magic to slow down time and squares up with the angels, which is immediately stopped by what can only be described as pure, unadulterated anime bullshit. And now Bayonetta but red, though, is here to fight the angels as well. Her arrival also introduces a few new mechanics to the gameplay loop. This is the magic meter. Landing attacks on an enemy will fill up one of these little orbs under your health bar. Did I mention Bayonetta is a witch from 500 years ago? Yeah, there's like a whole buried in a lake, lost my memory ass plotline, and this little kid that goes, we'll get to that later. Anyways, the magic meter is used up by certain combos, accessories, and most often, can I say that? Real YouTubers are scared of words, right? Let's go with mean girl attacks. If you have a full magic bar, you can send an enemy into this animation where you spam a button as fast as possible to deal huge damage. Every enemy has their own mean girl attack animations, and since you're invincible while you do it, it's kind of amazing. My favorite is what I call the French farewell, where you summon a guillotine and polish this guy's porthole until the monarchy is abolished. The downside of the magic meter is that if you get hit, you will lose segments of your magic bar and won't be able to perform those powerful mean girl attacks. I really hope you weren't expecting answers for the anime stuff earlier, because Red Bayonetta explains nothing and leaves. The only thing left to do is regroup with our best and baldest, Rodan, at the gates of hell. He surprises Bayonetta with 4 brand new pistols, and if you're normal, you're like, 4 pistols? Feet. You forgot she got guns on her feet? Subscribe if you forgot you had guns on your feet. Every level in this game ends with a dance break, and that's not true, but you probably believed it. After every level, you get the chance to play a first-person minigame called Angel Attack. You can find special bullet pickups in each level that gives you ammo for the minigame. The goal is to blast as many enemies as possible, earn points depending on what and where you shoot, and then redeem those points for items that can be used in the normal game. These items include things like health and magic restoration, extra lives for when you beef it. The most useful, in my opinion, is this extra health buff that you can buy for the next chapter, which saved me a lot. Bayonetta arrives at the town of Vigrid by train and is psychically welcomed by a Reddit moderator.
Such a beautiful young lady.
Her first obstacle is this statue puzzle type beat where you have to interact with the statues and then dodge a bolt of lightning to activate witch time, which slows down time enough to allow her to walk on water. The second enemy type that's introduced is called the Applaud. It's basically just a bigger, bluer version of the Affinity, so it's pretty harmless. You probably missed him. Hold on. Yeah, right about here is where he exploded, which is why they immediately send in God's biggest mistake, the Beloved. This guy's axe can't even fit on the screen, and there's no way those tiny little wings are lifting all that girth. He's got a built-in power switch on his back. I just factory reset this man. To take him down permanently, Bayonetta summons a hair-based demon dog thing where you have to break your X button to inflict maximum crunch. Where did all that hair come from? Great question. I'm gonna let you figure that one out on your own time. Your reward is a golden LP that you can turn into Rodan to unlock new weapons. This one gives you a shotgun that you can equip in your hand or feet slot. You can blast angels with it by holding down the Y or B button respectively. Bayonetta shows up on an angel-encrusted motorcycle and completely ignores the constraints of reality, all of the laws of physics, a pinky promise that we made. You probably think that we're about to fight her, but that's where you're wrong. We already fought her 500 years ago, so we're just gonna remember that fight instead. This fight teaches us how to use Witch Walk, allowing Bayonetta to walk up walls as long as the moon is like kinda, sorta, halfway shining. Fuck it, it just works, okay? Fighting on the ceiling in the past reminds Bayonetta that this lady's name is Jeanne. The city of Vigrid is absolutely beautiful and full of notes on the topic of magic and still beating witch hearts. What the fuck? It's also home to guys who wear scarves aggressively. His name is Luca, my name is Luke. Try not to confuse us even though we're identical. Bayonetta has some sort of history with this man, which is interesting considering she mostly exists in a different dimension. Dude, I haven't explained the trinity of realities? Am I stupid? Alright, there's the human world, which is like, well, you should know what that one is, honestly. Then there's Paradiso, which is where all these goddamn angels are coming from and ruining the vibe. Inferno is this game's version of hell, and while Rodan travels there to get his haircut sometimes, all done, you never actually see it. But wait, hold on, there's one more! Purgatorio is the reality Bayonetta is usually in that runs parallel to the human world. Humans can't see angels or Bayonetta because they're technically in Purgatorio. Did you get all that? If not, just lie so we can move on. Like the Scarfler here moves on from awkward confrontations.
See you later.
After a bit more crunching from the hair monster, Bayo ends up in a horror movie-ass situation where a ghost child runs around a church like the devil, but it turns out it's just a normal kid and not the devil. Serenza, the child, does call Bayo mommy though, which might be even scarier. A weirdly somber flashback from 500 years ago gets interrupted by a fucking dragon. Let's go, Japan! Woo! This fight highlights one of my main complaints about the game's bosses. The camera here is atrocious. You've got an enormous boss in very tight quarters and there's beams in the way for some reason. It gets a little better when the second head busts in, but then the game starts having a competition over who should be the main character, and it's hard to focus on any of them, but the fight ends pretty quickly with neither side taking the L. The next cutscene is fantastic because the giant dragon angel thing apologizes to Bayo and says,
"My bad, dude. I literally thought you were someone else."
and then he leaves. It was a misunderstanding. Why did I whoop his ass? Now the town does immediately start exploding. I don't know if that was his fault, but I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. He was very nice to me. The situation births a new monstrosity called Fairness, which is ironic because the literal frame that the cutscene ends on, he shoots a fireball at you. Almost every attack that Fairness has is insanely fast. He'll swipe at you and bite you and spit more fireballs. Dude's a menace. The Mean Girl attack summons a giant wheel that you drop onto his body and super kick where it spins so fast he fucking explodes. Well, spending an hour in Vigrid was fun, but the town got boring once everything caught on fire. Someone should really do something about all that. Bayo runs into the big guy again and is so hostile. She pops off at him twice before even learning his name. It's Fortitudo, by the way. The camera in this boss fight is once again your biggest enemy, with fast attacks coming at you from crazy angles. But the power-up that Bayo gets in boss fights, where every attack is summoning Wicked Weaves, feels so dope. I just hit Control F in my script, and that's the only time I've said Wicked Weave. My bad, y'all. Wicked Weaves can happen at the end of certain combos, and you know it happened because a giant foot will fly out of the metaverse and bop the shit out of someone. So during boss fights, you're getting constant combo finishers when you attack, and it's awesome. After going full wrestler mode on both of the dragon heads, Bayo summons a hair crow that pecks Fortitudo 9 times in the face, leaving a hole in his head, but an even bigger one in his heart. What? What is he saying? Sorry, I don't speak that. Okay, bye. The next level immediately introduces these two psychopaths called Grace and Glory. They are insanely fast, and if they hit once, they'll hit 50 more times. There is no room to breathe with these two. This was the first time I felt like I actually made a mistake picking normal. I'd like to say I eventually locked in, but honestly, I think they just locked out. The crazy thing is they aren't just a one-off mini-boss. They become normal enemies and show up pretty frequently. The Mean Girl attack is a big smush maneuver where they go from being not smushed to smush. Completely survivable, by the way. I feel like we've gone a long time without watching some insane anime type shit. And the easiest solution to that problem is fighting Jean again. That lady is bugging. Bro, no way. Are they hitting the ray gun? Oh my god, that's fire. Y'all having a foot fight but not with your feet guns? What kind of feet foot fighter are you? Jean clearly knows something about Bayonetta but refuses to elaborate, so Bayo turns into a panther. Going Panther mode might be my absolute favorite part of the game. They start designing a lot of the environments and boss encounters to make use of this fast run speed, and it's also unmatched in the fuck this I'm out Olympics. Bayonetta catches back up with Cerberus from earlier and decides the only thing that could make this action game better is turning it into an escort mission. Normally, this would take all the fun and put it here.
Okay, get in.
But brother, this kid is a G. First of all, the way that she runs is hilarious. More importantly, Cinderella's the perfect combat tool for a guy playing on normal. An easier target. That's right, I let the monsters focus on the child so I can stay safe and healthy. It's called self-care, and I deserve it. They do actually focus on the child for some reason, but she's got two things going for her. The ability to throw up a huge shield that makes her impervious for a few seconds when she takes damage, and a surprisingly massive health bar. I don't think I ever saw her get even close to half health, and I certainly never had to restart a fight because of her. And look at her, dude, she's so happy. Safe to say, Bayonetta has the best escort mechanic. Would you believe me if I said Bayonetta ran out of dance partners so she cloned herself to keep the dream alive? Just kidding, it's an enemy type called Joy that mimics Bayo's moveset, and I definitely can't show you any of that, Jesus. I don't know how this dude Luca shows up everywhere, but his scarf is really starting to piss me off. He talks so much trash, it's ridiculous. Like, yes, Bayonetta possibly iced your daddy. But does that really justify you being annoying? I'm appointing you chief babysitter of Cerebro. Anyways, it's time to fight another giant freak named Temperantia. Temperantia? He looks crazy, but all you really do is punch his arm pimples. It's a fairly straightforward fight, cause bro is all fingers, which is ironic because at the end of the fight, bro's no fingers. He gives another shout out to Jubileus the creator, and then bro's gone. Now, if you would, I'd like you to imagine a world in which Bayonetta does not ride a motorcycle for 8 minutes. And now I'd like you to transport me to that world because this one sucks ass. I don't know who decided that a third-person action game like Bayonetta needed an extended motorcycle sequence, but I can assure you that they were mistaken. The bike is going 300 miles per hour, the music is absolutely banging, and somehow it's still just kinda boring. The controls are incredibly stiff, but there's no damage from bumping into cars. The beloved look like they can hurt you, but I'm like 99% sure you're immune to damage. 8 minutes has never felt so long, brother. The game gets a little weird after this. Bayonetta falls into Paradiso, which is apparently like the human world but disassembled, and you spend 2 chapters going back through locations from earlier with different enemy layouts. Also fighting the same bosses again? I don't know, man, it seems sussy to me, brother. Back in the human world, the world's worst babysitter is failing to do the one thing that I asked. Crouton's like, here, check out how much cooler my mom is than you. And she's right. Get mogged by a real one, little buddy. Also dramatically realized that when you yelled father, it wasn't because Bayonetta had just iced your father. Another angel boss doing way too much shows up, goes by the name of Eustacia, and there's only one panther with the balls to run up the full length of its scaly tongue. I'd like to exit the boss fight, please. Here comes the hair wolf for the big finish, and psych, bitch, it's a hair worm. Yes, sir, everything on this screen is deeply unsettling. May Jubileus the creator grace you. Bayonetta has another great moment with Krendel, really makes a bald man think about having some kids of his own one day. Jesus Christ, credit card, watch out! No! Oh, she's fine, but she is now trapped on an angel-infested cargo plane. So I'm just gonna do what I do, you know what I'm saying? Just a little bit of brrr. Well, look who it is, you dusty b. Yeah, man, third time's the charm on this one. I like to think that if I got my ass beat 500 years ago and then 500 years later by the same person, I'd just take the L and put the fries in the bag. John is just built different, I guess. We save the kid just in time to pass the kid off and go rafting in the ocean. Somehow the controls for this boss fight are infinitely better than the motorcycle section. Probably because it's just playing Bayonetta but with skates on. Jubileus believes in you or whatever. The crew steals a helicopter and head to Isla del Sol, where the right eye of the world is supposedly waiting. Shout out my man Enzo.
What the fuck?
Of course, the angels show up to ruin everything.
Me.
And now begins the absolute worst section of the game, where you pilot a missile in an on-rails shooter, and every time you dodge an attack, you throw up in real life. The controls are much better than the motorcycle section, and I get that they're trying to vary the gameplay a little bit, but you have to fight a boss in this one that not only requires constant spinning to avoid projectiles, but it was twice as long as the motorcycle section. I did this shit for 15 minutes, dog. And then I fought Jean again, and she whooped my ass. This fight was pretty sick though. Maybe my favorite in the whole game? I don't know. It's like the ultimate 1v1 mirror match. I need you to know that I didn't edit this next part at all. Luca and Cerebellum just exploded, brother. Well, at least John is alright. Well, at least I'm alright. No need to worry, it's literally a double fake out. Hey. Luca and Quesarito are both fine, and Jean is also fine. We finally meet the mastermind behind all of this chicanery, and holy shit is this man freaky. He's got the right eye, and his name is Father Balder. Oh, I'm sorry, who are you, Balder then, you little bitch? Bro pulled up like Doc Ock in 04. It's a pretty fun fight. I believe in same-sized enemy supremacy when it comes to action games. Playing catch with a satellite is just regular business when you're reuniting the eyes of the world, am I right, gamers? The freaky weirdo takes a red-hot bullet to the dome, and we did it! Yay!
Oh!
Alright, goodbye, Crayola. I'll see you in Bayonetta 2. Wait, why are there more cutscenes? Just roll the credits? Oh, fuck! How did this happen? Oh my god, what are you doing? Just roll the credits! Now I gotta play as formerly fakely deceased Jean so she can atone for her past sins and breakdance on a missile. She snatches Bayonetta out of the eyeball, who then proceeds to throw the final boss through the universe and into the sun. Top 5 endings to Bayonetta games, no doubt. I can tell you after only one playthrough, this game is incredible. There are so many things I haven't even mentioned yet. The different weapon types, like the sword that makes you feel like a straight up samurai, or the whip that I never used, or the claws that I did use that can go back and forth between fire and lightning elements. I didn't mention the currency you earn throughout the game, halos, and how they're almost entirely useless your first playthrough because everything is way too expensive. The equipment everyone on the internet recommends might as well cost 10 trillion Bayonetta bucks, and it almost goes without mentioning that your boy was getting slapped silly on normal. But never before have I played a game where it was so clear how to get better. Bayonetta has the smoothest gameplay I've seen in a minute, which is crazy considering it came out almost 2 decades ago. The attacks are fast, but they're not usually unfair, unless the camera kinda sucks. When I was getting hit, I knew it was my fault, and the next time I saw that dude, he got me again. But now I knew he would, which means I'm getting my ass beat intelligently. My whole playthrough was just over 10 hours, and I think if I gave it 10 to 20 more, I bet I could blow the roof off this shit. The story was a little convoluted, and they even threw in time travel on top of time travel at the end. Credenza was Bayonetta, by the way, I don't know if you knew that, but literally all of the characters were great. Shout out my man Enzo.
What the fuck?
Aside from the levels where you swap genres of video game entirely, the gameplay is so nuanced and technical. There's obviously an insane amount of gooner baiting going on here, but the game underneath is rock solid. I might explore all of this further in another video, but for now, my verdict on Bayonetta is peak.